Peace and power to the nation. I'm good. We good. I want to thank everyone, man, just for all the love that, you guys been spreading, man, in the little Jam Up Jones. But it's just a little temporary remix. So, apologize to everyone who's trying to get on the site, 432thedrop.com. But we are coming back so strong. So, thanks to all your love. And, for those that are reaching out, I will be getting back to y'all. So, I appreciate it, man. Just had a wonderful time, man. Just enjoying, just enjoying the flow today. Just enjoying the flow, enjoying the little ones, man. Fair use in y'all caboose, boom. And we at it, man. We at it. American imperialism. Love to the family, Art Crawford, man. Just a quick drop, man. He dropped so many things, man. So, love to the fam love to all the fans that's just constantly digging. That's why I said we are all Drop Nation. Don't wait for me, to go through the links, man. Y'all drop it. Y'all drop it, man. Y'all put it out there however you got to put it out there. We got so much going on. It's going to only increase. So, it's about time for everyone, man, that's digging up all these links, man, to start dropping these links, man, so we could just feature it, man, and just keep it flowing that way. If you wait for us to drop it, man, we got so much. I'm digging on so much on my own. So much. The home team is always sending in, man, and different things. So, but I appreciate it, man. And this is just really a reflection of how it's going down. When you see stuff like this, American imperialism is the economic, military, cultural philosophy that the United States affects and controls other countries. Well, this corporation is affecting and controlling other countries. I mean, they're controlling the internet, hijacking our frequency. I mean, look, man, we're just on the surface web. We ain't even gone deep. We're only seeing just a few percent of the info, and yet we got so much drop. Such influence is often closely associated with expansion into foreign territories. So this corporation, I know it says American, but you know what the American is. Remember that first dictionary that was published? That Noah Webster, 1828 Webster Dictionary, American, the copper color race is found here. So we're not referring to the copper color races found here. We're not referring to the first part of that definition. We're referring to the second half of that definition, which says, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Right? So we all got that. So when you look at this American, we're only talking about the corporation. So this corporational imperialism is the economic, military, and cultural philosophy. That's their cultural philosophy of the hijack. You're in the mind of a hijack, people. In the mind of a hijack, in this imperialism, in this corporate imperialism of this hijack, they have an economic philosophy, a military philosophy, and a cultural philosophy that the United States corporation affects and controls other countries, everything else, because they're bringing the law out of the sea. They're bringing that fish god, right? That fish, they're getting the laws from the fish. Love to my man Francisco, their fish god. Man, such influence is often closely associated with expansion, cities of gold, into foreign countries. The concept of an American empire was first popularized during the presidency of James K. Polk, who led the United States into the Mexican-American War. War against the Indian, war against the indigenous. Remember that drop with 93% of the time America, this corporation, has been at war against the Indian. You are prisoners of war. 93% of the time they've been at war since the beginning of their existence in 1776. And you won't find a war that wasn't against the Indian until the damn near the Korea War or something like that in 1940 or whatever it was. So everything in between was all against the so-called Negro, including this Mexican-American War in 1848 and the eventual annexation of America. and other Western territories via the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo treaties and Gadsden Purchase. We gotta get into this Gadsden Purchase. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm just gonna go right to this drop that my man, yo man, Art Crawford, dropped on us. He said, man, King, just scroll on down till you see views of imperialism. I want to see the views. Journalist Ashley Smith divides theories of the U.S. imperialism into 5 broad categories. 1. Liberal theories. 2. Social democratic theories. 3. Leninist theories. Theories of self-imperialism. And 5. Heart and Negrite theories. You ever heard of that? Have you ever heard of the heart and Negrite theories? There is also conservation anti-interventionist view as expressed by American journalist John T. Flynn. The enemy aggressor is always pursuing a course of lunacy, murder, rapine, and barbarism. We are always moving forward with high mission, a destiny imposed by the deity. You remember that divine law they feel that they're under, love to teach. They're under their own ecclesiastical manifest destiny, hijacking the energy of that which is. That's why I say you already are that which you want to become. You already are. To regenerate our victims while incidentally capturing their markets to civilize savage and senile and paranoid peoples. That's what they want to do. You must be paranoid, senile, and savage while blundering accidentally into their oil wells. Man, I mean, when we journey to the mind of a hijack, So let's look at this character. It says this is a caricature showing Uncle Sam lecturing 4 children labeled Philippines, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and Cuba in front of children holding books labeled with various U.S. states. A black boy is washing windows, a Native American sits separate from the class, and a Chinese boy is outside the door. I gotta see this is what they are drawing. All right, so let's see what they drew. This is what the brother wanted us to see. Wow. So look up. You see this, what they call this the black boy washing the window. All right. That's what you, I guess, would expect a black boy to look like washing the window. Now, what else are they drawing? 4 other children labeled Philippines, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and Cuba. Philippines, dark melanated child. They look like grown-ass men, but they're calling them children, right? All right, Philippines, dark. Hawaii, dark. Puerto Rico, dark. Cuba, dark. Now they said there's a Native American in the corner with a feather, dark. And they said a Chinese boy outside, and he's dark. All you see is melanated. And then you see something else enforcing its sea law on all of these indigenous people of the Indies. I tell you, man, you don't gotta go too far for this drop now that you can see. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Now you see these, the white students, and they're holding what? A bunch of books. And each book, this is California, can't really read them all, Texas. So they just got their heads down. They just learning, their state laws. Meanwhile, these people are getting lectured, and the Native American got to sit by the door. Native American can't even sit down. Chinese man gotta wait outside. Black boy gotta watch the window. And they get to sit at, student seats. And it says something back here real small, man. But yeah, man, love to my man R. Crawford, man. This American imperialism. Now, what is this heart and negrite theory? I wonder. Let's see if we can just dig something right quick on it. I mean, welcome back to the classroom, man. We don't stop. We won't stop. Drop nation, we patiently waiting. We're so multifaceted that we exist with or without a website, whether or not we're on YouTube, whether or not we're on Facebook, we exist. We will always be, we'll always keep building, we'll always build stronger. So what you're witnessing is just a very, very, very slim pickings, man. You're just getting a little bit of the skinny, no fat. Little bit of the skinny, no fat. So just, stay tuned and keep vibing, man, and keep growing in your own life, man. That supports us as well. It's not just, go rock a drop shirt or sign up for this, drop tuner or nothing like that, man. Just, man, be you. Just exist. Your existing is giving us energy. The fact that we're conscious together is giving us energy. So you're doing your part. I'm not asking nobody to do nothing else. I'm not asking, man. Just love each other. You know what I'm saying? Rock order as you know it. Rock order with your creator first, no hijack. That's all I'm asking of you, period. And as we build, Let's go. Hard and negrite type theories? I don't know, man. Let's click on this first one. It took me to Wiki Philippines. So I saw that little Filipino kid sitting down. Maybe I'll just click on it first. It's the first thing that pops up. U.S. imperialism, American empire, is a term sometimes used to describe the historical expansion and the current political, economic, and cultural influence of the United States on a global scale. It is usually part of a politically charged debate which involves three basic questions. Is the United States currently an empire? Are they currently still invading and conquering people? What's going on in the Middle East now? If the United States is an empire, when did it become one? 1776, when they were given the 13 colonies by Morocco. 3, if the United States is an empire, is that good or bad? Is it good or bad? Well, shit, I mean, you ain't got to go too far for that. Just, ask these little niggas. Negritos. Ask all of these melanated people. Is this good or bad? Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his face. Is it good or bad? Hold up, man. Hold up. What else did it say? So we was talking about that theory, right? Let's see if we can find it. Definition of an empire. Oh, man. Y'all tell me if y'all see that. What's it called again? Hard and negrite. American exceptionalism. Man. They just exceptional with this shit. Where's this hard and negrite, man? Y'all tell me if y'all see negrites. They're hiding it in here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Theories of the U.S. empire. Man, I never even thought they had theories. It says left-wing journalist Ashley Smith divides theories of the U.S. empire into 5 broad categories: liberal, social, democratic, Leninist, super imperialism, and hard and negrite theories. This gives me a reference. But then it says this page don't exist. Yeah. Let's see if we can find it. Alright, here we go. A hard and negrite theory asserts that the Leninist theory was valid when formulated. Wait, let's go back. A Leninist theory. Man, let's just take it from the top. A liberal theory asserts that the U.S. policies are the products of particular elected politicians. Example, the Bush administration or political movements. These policies are not an essential product of U.S. political or economic structures and are straightforwardly counter to U.S. interests. Let's see. Liberal theories are held by most Democratic. All right, so they call it liberal. All right, so these are theories asserting the U.S. policies are the products of particular elected politicians. So the Bush administration will have its, policies, and these are just liberal policies, or, this theory that they can have their own policies and pretty much, expand those onto the people, in whatever way, lying-ass way they decide to do it. So a social democratic theory asserts that imperialistic U.S. policies are the products of excessive influence of certain sectors of U.S. business and government, the arms industry, and alliance with military and political bureaucracies, and sometimes other industries such as oil and finance, a combination often referred to as military-industrial complex. The complex is said to benefit from war. So, is it good or bad that America's an empire? Are these complexes benefiting from war? Hell yeah, profiteering and the looting of natural resources, cities of gold. This shit ain't changed. Often at the expense of public interest. Man, so their theory asserts that the imperialistic U.S. policies are the products of the excessive influence of certain sectors. So these are different theories of what this thing is. Some people say, it's just, the U.S. is just, just policies, just particular elected presidents have their own policies, and that's what it is. Then some people say, nah, man, the U.S. is a social democratic, man. Meaning that imperialistic U.S. policies are the products of the excessive influence of certain sectors. So because of, these, money-driven, profiteering, military-industrial complexes that are benefiting from war, that's what the U.S. is. It's just a bunch of, all right. I mean, is it either or? Is it all the above? Is it just some bullshit? All right. A Leninist theory asserts that the imperialistic U.S. policies are the products of the unified interest of a predominant sectors of U.S. business. So it's kind of like social democratic, except, let's see, the unified interest of the predominant sectors of U.S. business, which need to ensure and manipulate export markets for both good and capital. Business, on this Marxist view, essentially controls government and internationally military competition is simply an extension of international economic competition, both driven by the inherently expansionist nature of capitalism. Smedley Butler, a retired general in the U.S. Marine Corps, took this view when he said that his job had been a muscle man for big business. Okay. So, some people consider it a combination of, it's still business, oil and all that, but it's a military industrial situation that's still kind of connected to the policies of the government. Others say that, nah, man, this is a completely separate thing that has to do nothing but with the finances, nothing but with the manipulation of export markets. It's all about the goods and capital. All these seem to be down to the same thing. Profiteering, goods, capital. Liberal is even the goods and capital. If this particular president or whatever the elected politician, whatever their particular, policies are still going to be within the war profiteering. They're still going to be within the what they're calling Leninist theory of ensuring and manipulating export markets. I don't even know why they separate all this stuff. All right, what else? A theory of super imperialism is similar to the Leninist theory in its view of the roots of imperialism, but asserts that global economic interdependence has superseded the association of business. So they assert that global economic interdependence. So everyone working interdependently. Interdependence. Let's get that. Not just not independent, but interdependent. the dependence of two or more people or things on each other. I just want to make sure. So they need each other. These, what they call them, where we at? But asserts that the global economic interdependence, meaning that they all need each other to survive, right? Let me get this, make sure everyone can see. All right, so they all need each other to survive interdependently, which is the same in a sense, except, some people will say that, okay, some people are capitalizing this, but this interdependence asserts the global economic interdependence has superseded the association of businesses within a single country, so that among developed nations, economic and military cooperation is now more common than competition. So they're not competing, they're working together. So, here you have more competition going on in the Leninist theory. So it's a similar view to the Leninist theory, but they're more saying that, nah, man, everyone's really working together. A confederacy is going on. The central conflict in modern imperialism is said to be between the global core and the global periphery rather than between imperialistic powers. So they got the core against the periphery. Let's click on that. No, there's no text on this page. Yeah, man. They like to make us work. I just want to get some comprehension as we go. I'm not going too deep. Just trying to get a basic flow here. Where's my etymology? Etymologies. Yeah, we're just trying to get some things set up, man, because we're going to get into this Real ID Act. Love to my sister, Princess Amberella. Love to Princess Amberella. Love to Art Campbell. Love to all the family, man, dropping this, wonderful flow. And periphery, late 14th century, atmosphere around the earth. From model peripheria, late Latin peripheria. Circumference, outer surface, atmosphere around the earth. Circumference, outer surface, line round a circular body. Okay, here we go. Circumference, outer surface, line round a circular body. Line round, all right, let's see. Literally a carrying around. From peripherous, rounded, moving round, revolving. I think this might be very key. Revolving, carrying around, going around, atmosphere around the earth. Peri, roundabout, outside boundary of a surface. Outside boundary of a surface. So we're saying here that the central conflict in modern imperialism is said to be between the core and the periphery lying around the surface. So they have the core and the revolving group around the surface. Now, how are we applying that? Global core and global periphery rather than between imperialistic powers. So the core against the periphery. Very interesting. I mean, you can look at this many ways. You can go real deep. You can deal with people who have angelic, dwellings inside the earth, in the core, and other angelic dwellings around, right? The atmosphere around, carrying around, revolving around. So the celestial, and the below, above and the below. I look at it all kind of ways, but keep going. Rather than between imperialistic powers, political scientists Leo Panich and Samuel Grinden or Ginden hold versions of this view. All right. A heart and negritite, that's what we came for. Theory asserts that the Leninist theory was valid when formulated. So, the theory of that asserts the imperialistic U.S. policies are the products of the united interests of the predominant sectors of U.S. business. U.S. policies are the products of united interests of the predominant sectors of U.S. business which need to ensure and manipulate export markets for both good and capital. Business essentially controls government, and internationally military competition is simply an extension of international economic competition, both driven by the inherently expansionist nature of capitalism. So this money is driving this thing, of course. Business, this predominant, the united interests of predominant sectors of business. These policies are products of business. All right? Policies are products of business. So in the Hart and Negri type theory asserts that the Leninist theory was valid when formulated that the U.S. policies are products of U.S. business. All right. But that the U.S. is no longer imperialistic in the classic sense, because the world has passed the era of imperialism and entered a new one, or at least they passed the era of blatant imperialism, to a certain degree of, Roman Empire. They don't call it the American Empire. They moved into a more slick way of doing it, which is still very obviously takeover, but it's more psychological, and entered a new era. However, see note, Hart and Negri no longer hold that the world has entered the new era of empire, but only that it is emerging. According to Hart, the Iraq War is a classically imperialistic war. That's what we was bringing up. They're in the Middle East. What are they doing? So they're still taking over. They're still, running up and taking titles and cities of gold, going after whatever resource, doing whatever they want to do, putting everybody, on these sea laws, this maritime admiralty system coming out to sea that has no basis next to the law of the land, except for the people of the land think they're from different lands and aren't claiming their lands and aren't themselves. So they say, oh, these people are missing. We're still at war against them. They're prisoners of war. They don't know who they are. But even in Iraq, this war is a classically imperialistic war, but represents the last gasp of a doomed strategy. So they're giving it one more go. But the strategy of what they're doing is doomed because it's so obviously imperialistic that everyone clearly sees that this entity, this corporation, is functioning as an empire. And maybe in its precipice, maybe in its beginning, the U.S. policies are the products of unified interests of the predominant source U.S. business. But then, they're saying they're moving into a more, the world has passed the era of imperialism into a new era or a new world order. And you're going to see how this new world order is affecting, things with this Real ID Act, and how your driver's license pretty soon won't even be valid because they're not going to honor the state driver's license because it's a global thing now. I tell you, man, whenever you hear global, run for the hills, global, because you ain't on the globe. But that's a code word for we're taking everything and we're going to spin you around and make you dizzy for the rest of your life and give you boundaries and put you on a ball in the middle of nowhere, and you just one of many balls, and who gives a shit? You think this shit is a distraction. You think whatever. You've been distracted. You've been distracted at hello. Can't nothing else distract you more than whatever's distracting you. So your brothers and sisters bringing out what they bringing out, surfing the wave and connecting it the way we're doing. If that's distracting, then go watch Kardashians. Go see what Meek Mill talking about right now. And Nicki Minaj and shit. Man, periphery. They just rotating around you, man. But it's the last gasp of a doomed strategy. From imperialism to empire. All right, we just wanted to get some of this heart and neglect. This new era still has oppressive colonializing power. So this new world order is still going to be colonizing your ass, but has moved from national military forces based on an economy of physical goods to networked biopower based on an informational and effective economy. Networked biopower? What's that? I'm just gonna, belly flop. I don't expect to get this deep. But have you ever just Googled network body power? BioPower? Me neither, I don't know. On BioPower and BioPolitics. All right, sure. Mapping the comments on BioPower and BioPolitics. I'll leave this link. 12 theses on biopolitics in the commons for architects and cartographers. Those are map makers. Let's go. We use biopower in the sense defined by Foucault, and later detailed by Deleuze, Hart, and Negri. To describe the form of power in contemporary network society. Biopower, as any kind of power, has to be understood as a strategy and as a relation. It is deployed through techniques or technologies. TV, radio, frequency, chemtrail. You know what I mean? Harp, CERN, biopower. Biopower is not aimed at prohibiting and punishing, but it rather deals with production of the real. It aims to produce the totality of social life, like social media. It aims to produce the totality of... Who's writing this shit? I mean, at some point, we all just fall back and we say, biopower, you're not aimed at prohibiting and punishing. That doesn't mean that biopower does not prohibit and punish and colonize. It's just not technically aimed at that. All right, let's go. It aims to produce the totality of social life. The main aim of biopower, being part of capitalism, is not to regress people, but to make populations productive. Do y'all buy it? Do you buy it? All right, we're in the mind of a hijack. We can understand better the technologies of contemporary biopower by comparing them to the technologies of biopower in the industrial society. The diagram of power technologies in the industrial society is a panopticon. It was deployed in the so-called institutions of enclosement such as factories, schools, offices, homes, where bodies and minds were disciplined in space and time. Space and time have something to do with this illusion, people. The Greek term biomechania describes effectively the biopolitical dimension of the industrial society. Technologies of biopower in the age of networks are different from those of the industrial era. They are often described by the term society of control, coined by writer William Burroughs and commented upon Gilles Deleuze, 1990. Society of control technologies aim to make people productive or make people robots. What's their version of productivity? Robotics. What's their vision of you being productive? Is it you being a tribe or you just following to the beat of their drum? They think their educational system makes you productive, but what does it do? Does it make you, want to build your own business and create your own and really think twice at the system that's teaching you? No, it makes you get in line and say, yeah, I got a degree of understanding now. Hire me and further indoctrinate me and let me be productive for your company. You pay them to make you more productive for their companies, as we already mentioned, but they do so not through the Tayloristic organization of time and space, but rather through the modulation of subjectives and behaviors in the open, fluid fields of network. This has to be some of the sickest stuff I've ever read. And, from the part that I can comprehend and the part that I am flowing with, this is some of the sickest shit I ever read. Because this is written, I mean, from deep in the mind of a hijack. That what they're doing, but rather than through the modulation of subjectives, what are these subjectives making you more productive? What are these subjectives making you more productive? What are these subjectives? Love to the sister M.A. Truth. Hopefully we got time to get some of that drop she put out, man. You know, just getting back into the power of words, because the spells you're speaking are subjectives and affect your behavior in the open, fluid fields of network. In the network societies, people become productive when they're open to operate autonomously, robotic, flexibly, and creatively. Control functions through the modulation of these conditions. Production of subjectivity, technical and social protocols, laws and norms, and governance are three of the main families of power technologies in the society of control. BioPolitics would describe one end, the technologies of power that relate to BioPower. Biopolitical production would refer to the production of forms of life as in the sense of addressed by the Greek term biomechania. However, biopolitical production is used to by Hart and the Greek, Lazzarato, and others to describe the kind of politics and political actions that oppose capitalist biopower. In this sense, biopolitical production would describe the production of forms of life, technical, social, subjective ecologies, alternate to and confrontational with capitalism. On the commons and wealth of networks, man. You don't think this is a high level frequency war? You know what I'm saying? They're trying to say that one thing is different than the other, when honestly they're really the same thing, but just two different ways of doing it. And that's why when we got back to the Leninist and we're talking about the Hart and the Greek theory, it's asserts that the Leninist theory was valid when formulated. So in other words, you know, it was all good, you know, to go with this capitalistic, imperialistic situation, but now they're doing it in a whole new way, a new era, and they're getting biopolitical and using biopower. The new era still has oppressive, colonializing power. So if they're still colonizing, it's still an all bad situation for anyone who is on any other, side of this thing. On any other side of the imperialistic spread out, take everybody's resources. That's what the colonializing power is, but has moved from the national military forces based on an economy of physical goods to networked biopower based on the informational and effective economy. On this view, the U.S. is central to the development and constitution of a new global regime. Woo! Listen, people. Just listen up, man. If you're working out, man, just finish your set. Pause it, finish your set. If you sleep, wake up right quick. Just wake up. A lot of people say, man, I be going to sleep, you know what I mean, to your drives, man, but it's all good. I wake up. That's cool, man. I mean, let it resonate, man. It's better than going to sleep, man, to some jive, man. So, love to y'all, man. And wake up just wake up right quick. Okay, I got something to say. All right, the U.S. is central to the development and constitution of a new global regime. Keep that in mind as we get into the Real ID Act of international power and sovereignty, termed empire. But the empire is decentralized and global and not ruled by one sovereign state, confederacy. Literary theist Michael Hard, so that's where you get the Hard and Negriite, and philosopher Antonio Negri argue that the United States does indeed occupy a privileged position in empire, but this privilege derives not from its similarities to the old European imperialist powers, but from its differences. They would love for you to think that this is a different empire. They would love to think they're different. That's like meeting a bunch of different Christians with different denominations, and they feel like they're so different because they're in different denominations, but they're still rocking Zeus. They're still rocking Zeus. They're the same, no matter how it's painted. No matter how all these theories are painted, it's still, let's just read it, and then we'll get the full, watch this. Liberal. U.S. policies are the products of particular elected presidents. So whoever it is, i.e. Bush administration, who also is has a social democratic theory, even if he's a Republican, because red and blue and red. And even if we talk about it and they want to jam us up because we talking about it, man, the flow is the flow. This is sprouting up everywhere. They can't stop the flow. They can't stop water. They can't stop the earth from replenishing it. They can't stop the creator from replenishing you, replenishing your mind, your eye, waking you up from deep sleep to when you still sleep and you fighting against the people waking you up because you still want to sleep because you in such a deep sleep. Yeah, call me this title. I'll take it. Sure, I'll do that. Social democratic theory asserts the imperialistic U.S. policies are the products of the excessive influence of certain sectors, such as the Bush administration. Same shit. Linus got the U.S. policies a product of the unified interests of the predominant sectors of U.S. business. Bush owns the oil shit, and they're getting all kinds of money from the warmongering or the profiteering. Social democratic profiteering, liberal particular elected president have got their own policies, and the Linus still got the unified interests of predominant sectors of U.S. business, which leads into the super imperialism on its view of roots of imperialism, but asserts the global economic interdependence, so they're working together in a global fashion, which still connects to the Bush, still connects to the war profiteering of the social democrat, and still connects to the Linus unified interests of predominant sectors of U.S. business, which leads to the hardened and Greek, who are saying, yeah, it's all the same, but now it's a little different because it's not the same in a classical sense, even though they did admit that the Iraq war was a classically imperialistic war. We say this is still an imperialistic, capitalist, colonizing situation, constituting a new global regime of international power and sovereignty globally, termed empire. Let's go. Love to Art Crawford, man. Got us on the road. I'll drop these links to y'all, man, so y'all know where we at. Y'all know what's popping. And remember how they view the world. Philippines, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Native American, the Chinaman, the black boy, all the same. Let's go. Real ID Act. Let's just get it from here. National ID headed for your wallet. I just pulled up some links. First, I kind of, got rid of some mainstream joints so we can kind of see what they're saying in the mainstream. Then we got some joints, that are kind of calling it what it is, And again, love to the sister Princess Amberella. And let's just go. Just as you were wrapping your mind around the idea that under Obamacare and the accompanying changes in the healthcare system, your medical benefits will be floating around in some online repository available to far too many people, you're being told you'll soon have a national identity card, a global identity card, a new era identity card, and a Western Hemisphere compliant travel document. Is it play? I mean, this was written, when was this? This is 13. All right, so they've been telling you this stuff. That's why I went back. They've been telling you this since 2013. Now, the sister said this goes into effect in 2017, which is what they say right here. So they said this in 2013. And y'all still weren't paying attention. All right, let's go. So check it. So now you're being told you'll soon have a national identity card and a Western Hemisphere compliant travel document, whether you want it or not. Colonizing, global. If you plan to drive in the United States, which even a driver's license is not even a constitutional thing because you don't need a driver's license unless you're employed as a driver. Then they said, oh, everybody needs a license to drive. No, you needed a driver's license. If you were employed by a company as a driver, you need a license showing that you are employed by that company as a driver. You needed a driver's license, but you're not a driver, you're a traveler. And when has travelers needed driver's license? Unless you're employed as a driver. But now even your driver's license is invalid. You need a global national identity card. BioMetrics, chip, RFID. Keep all this shit in mind. Because all that connects to BioPower and BioPolitics and BioMetrics and RFID and marks of the beast, they say. I mean, we're talking frequency. The mark is a frequency. The sign is a frequency. Redemption is a frequency. What frequency are you in? Your words have power. Your words have power in your frequency, in your language, not in theirs. In your frequency, in your language, not in theirs. Let these people tell you who you are. They can't even tell you who you're not. The federal government says it soon will be enforcing its demand that state-issued driver's license and ID cards comply with Department of Homeland Security standards. DHS announced just before Christmas a final schedule for the full enforcement of the Real ID Act of 2005. That's how they be moving on, y'all. They be like, man, I'm going to put this, I'm going to pass this right quick. Back in 2005, it ain't even going to go into effect in the 2017, 2018. That's how these people are moving. Even right now, they signing shit to go into effect later. Or really, it's amping up now, man. That was set for a phased implementation beginning in January 2014 and a full-scale enforcement plan no later than May 2017, which is why my sister, Princess Amberala, says, Drop, can you please just touch on this? We're going to talk about which states is affecting first, and pretty soon you know they're coming at everybody. Everybody. And so they're about to go into full-scale enforcement plan no later than May 2017, and this was written in 2013. For many Americans, the full implementation of the Real ID Act is certain to trigger unfortunate memories of World War II. They only repeat themselves. And the modus operandi of fascist totalitarian states where travelers and ordinary citizens, not drivers, people, travelers and ordinary citizens on the street are stopped by authorities and demanded, your papers, please. So now you're going to have some officer working for the UN, peacekeeper mobbing through your street next to his tank. Don't speak no language, not even from here at all, but working for global powers saying, let me see your global ID. And soon you won't be able to hop on a plane without your global ID. First, them saying, okay, it's going to be the passport. So they chip your passport, then they chip whatever else in your license, and they chip whatever. They put the biometrics everywhere. People getting the chips in their skin saying, I feel like little Tommy's safer when he goes to school because I can monitor with this chip. Well, who else is monitoring little Tommy with his chip? What other frequency are they pumping through little Tommy with his little robotic chip? And is he even little Tommy anymore? Or is he Tomas now with his little chip? For many Americans, the full implementation of the Real ID Act is certain to trigger unfortunate memories of World War II, where they just say, give me your papers. In the U.S., the jurisdiction for the Real ID Act of 2005 was concerned for the enhanced travel security after 9/11. Remember, they trigger shit just to pass shit. 9/11 Commission documented several of the 9/11 terrorists had valid state-issued driver's license and were able to freely board airplanes, even though they were terrorists who had entered the U.S. illegally. Among the DHS requirements for a state-issued driver's license to be DHS compliant will be the presentation by the applicant of the valid birth certificate, verification of the applicant's social security number or documentation the person is not eligible for social security, and proof the applicant is either a U.S. citizen or lawfully admitted to the U.S. as a permanent or temporary resident. Further, driver's license and IDs issued by the states will have to meet stringent requirements as set by the federal government, the global. Hold up. We're just talking biopower, man. Societies of control. We're just talking societies of control. BioPolitics would describe one end of the technologies of power that relate to biopower. The aim of biopower, being a part of capitalism, is not to repress people, but to make populations productive, people. No, the aim is not prohibiting and punishing. Why would you even have to say that unless the shit was prohibiting and punishing? You say, but that's not what we're trying to do. But it happens, capitalism. The diagram of power technologies in the industrial society is the panopticon. It was deployed in the so-called institutions of enclosement, such as factories, schools, offices, homes, where body and minds were disciplined in space and time. What does it mean? Well, I'll tell you one thing, man. Stringent requirements as set by federal government. Yeah, we talking biopower. We talking biology. What are they spraying? Biology, biopower. To qualify as DSH compliant, state issued driver's license and ID cards must have built-in security features. So they're going to say, throw your driver's license out the window. Just first they're going to say, yeah, you know, your passport is the most powerful thing. Now you're going to need your passport just to travel domestically from state to state. You're going to need your passport, man. Then you're going to need your national ID card, which is going to supersede your passport. And then now you're going to be able to travel with your super national global card. Man, right in your face bone. So they saying all their little stuff. All right, man. I just want to get some, let's just keep going. All right, this is fatwallet.com. This is just more of a, little blog. Now, important, effective 1 January 22, 2018. Now, remember when we got the Gematria drop? And we got the drop about the Hebrew calendar, and that we're in the year 5777, and that all of their numbers are pointing to 5778, and that's equivalent to 2018, because we're in the year 5777, and the numbers are pointing to 5778. Effective January 22, 2018, if you live in PA, Philadelphia, Kentucky, all right, what's ME, Maine, what's that, Minnesota, you know what I'm saying, MT, I don't know all these acronyms, Maryland, Oklahoma, I'm gonna get to, South Carolina, Washington, you tell me what M is, Minnesota, whatever this is, I'll get it, I'm not good at the acronyms, man. But you're going to need, man, pretty soon it's going to be everybody, all right? So forget it. It's going to be everybody. So look into the future. We need passport or other ID to fly in the U.S. Domestically, all these states will need passports to travel in the U.S. This goes into effect in about 13 months unless your state, now this is written December 21st, 2016, so 13 months from that, all right? Unless your state becomes compliant by then, you will need a passport or have one of these acceptable forms of federal ID, federal, global, BioPower, BioMetric. All right, whatever you use must have their BioPower. Whatever you use must have their BioMetrics. But they're saying we're not just doing this to, what they say. This is not aimed at repressing, what they say. What the niggas say? Oh, regress. The main aim of biopower, being part of capitalism, is not to repress people, but to make populations productive. It's not aimed at prohibiting and punishing, but it rather deals with the production of the real. What the fuck are you? Production of the real? Let me tell you something real, man. We don't need your productivity or your assertion of what productive is according to your robotic, synthetic, hijacked version of the illusion created only as static to do anything but keep it real. I mean, you had us, man. You almost had us until you said the word real. Because we're real. The copper color races found here are real. Not this version of the American imperialism. This ain't real. They are real. They're looking at him like, you're not real. He says, but I come from the sea. I have sea law. I made a deal with people that look like you, but were against you because they wanted your land too. I made a deal with them. I'm real. My treaty is real. They're like, we're real. My treaty is real. All right, let me stop. Let go. All right, man. Let me switch up my vibe suite, man. Y'all been vibing in the jazz and blues, man. We've just been vibing in 432. Let's get some, let's get our spirit drums popping, man. Keep loving up on each other. All right, so with this announcement, DHS is putting state governments on notice by May 2017. Let's keep going. All right, so what can you use instead of your driver's license? All right, passport card, DHS trusted traveler's card, global entries, Nexus, Sentry, Fast, U.S. military ID, active duty or retired military, and their dependents, and DOD civilians, permanent resident card, border crossing card, DHS designated enhanced driver's license. Department of Homeland Security is going to have an enhanced driver's license that's going to have their biometrics and BioPower. Airline or airport issued ID, federally recognized tribal issue photo ID. All right, whatever they're federally recognized tribes are kind of being hooked up with their own biometrics, BioPower. Foreign government issued passport. All right, so you're gonna need some BioPower, man. Let's go. This is cntraveler.com. I'm still kind of skating on that mainstream, but we're about to get real. They're gonna call us the Real ID Act. You know what's funny, man? They want to talk about getting real. They gonna say to us, they gonna talk out the side of their neck, man. They gonna say, BioPower is not aimed at prohibiting and punishing, but it rather deals with the production of the real. It rather deals with the production of the real. And then we go over here and we see under the Real ID Act. So you don't think this got nothing to do with BioPower? You don't think this got nothing to do with BioPower? We're not prohibiting and punishing you, but we're dealing with the production of the real. BioPower and BioPolitics. Take your pick. Because when it gets real. Oh, not yet. We're going to be right there. We about to get real because we are real. While we research their real. That they say that they're dealing with in the production. They say that all we do is deal with production of real, but are they producing real or the real ID? Are they producing real or real biometrics and real biosynthetic power? Licenses from 9 states won't work at the airport in 2018. Look at this system. Nope. We can't accept that. Y'all know how that go. All right. Yet another reason to renew that passport sooner rather than later. Bad news for Kentucky, Maine. All right, so we don't need no acronyms. Let's just see what it means. All right, that's the one I missed. Montana, Missouri. I got the Minnesota and Maine, though. I got the Maine. I got the Mannan. All right. Bad news for Kentucky, Maine, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and Washington. But it's going to be everybody. Starting January 22, 2018, driver's license issued by these states will no longer be accepted at TSA checkpoints. That's crazy, man. So you're going to say, all right, well, South Carolina driver's licenses are not accepted to fly domestically, but North Carolina driver's license is cool. Oklahoma, no. Texas, cool. Maine, no. Vermont, Virginia, New York, cool. Nah, man, y'all see how this is working. They failed to meet the federal government's minimum security standards under the Real ID Act. They're in the production of real. Instead, travelers have to use another form of identification to pass through security for domestic flights. Think military ID, permanent resident card, passport. While there's been some confusion about the Real ID Act, when the Real ID Act will be enforced and what exactly the Real ID Act is, the TSA has taken advantage of the busy holiday season to warn travelers that they can expect changes in 2018. The TSA announced that it would start posting notices the week of December 12th, and signs have already been spotted at Chicago O'Hare and Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport. They already, it's in full-fledged, man. This next move is in full-fledged. It's been in full-fledged. They've been spraying you, right? In 2005, following the recommendation of the 9/11 Commission, the Real ID Act was passed by Congress with the end goal of making fake IDs harder to get. Okay, they're trying to make it safer. No problem. U.S. states and territories were supposed to enforce stricter requirements than issuing IDs, demanding more proof of identity, incorporating anti-counterfeit technology or biometrics and BioPower, which is only in the production of keeping it real ID, and doing background checks for the issuing licenses. If the 9 aforementioned states make a move to change their processes, the TSA has said it may grant extensions and will update its signage appropriately. Does that mean that all the other states have already included biometrics in their licenses, and that's why they're not tripping on them yet? I don't know. You tell me. Let's get real ID. 5 states get more time. So 5 states got more time. This is as of January 15, 2016. The Department of Homeland Security said passengers in these states could continue using their current IDs until January 22, 2018, and some even have until October 1st, 2020. Okay? The federal government is giving air travelers in Minnesota and a handful of other states a 2-year reprieve from enforcement of a law that would have banned commercial air travelers who didn't have a new federally approved identification. The surprise announcement Friday came as a relief to Minnesota officials who have been racing to bring the state into compliance with the new federal law requiring new, more stringent IDs to fly on commercial airlines. All right, so they did the little, they had a little more time. Let's just keep going. All right, here we go. Now we're getting real. It is already happening. Government can pick you up, lock you up, or exterminate you at any time. All right, makes sense. Allnewspipeline.com. Do you have a car, a child, a credit card, a passport, a smartphone? Do you live in a city? Well, guess what? You are already chipped. Biometrics, RFID. I told you, look out for it. Marked, mark of the beast, marked, tracked, surveyed. Use whatever words you want. The government literally has your number. All right, then they went into the mark of the beast terminology, Revelation 13. All right, no man might buy or sell, save he have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So, yeah, I mean, they're calling it, the hijack bill is calling out their own, prophecies because they're writing this shit down, planning in advance chip implants. This is not new. I guarantee you. They probably tried this shit a long time ago. We will start with the actual implant and move along from there. Report of people volunteering to have implanted chip technologies put into their bodies in the name of additional safety and security come from a variety MSM reports, such as one from the ABC News titled Implant Chip Track People, where one company reported they already have 50 volunteers to test their Vera chips. Dr. Richard Selig, a former surgeon, but now a medical consultant for ADS, became the first to embed a Vera chip in his arm and hip on September 16th. He says his decision to become a willing guinea pig came when he saw World Trade Center rescue workers scrawl information on their skin as an identifying marker, should they get hurt in the wreckage. There's a clear need for more secure form of identification, says Saley. This was another useful application for the Vera chip. All right, so that's their spin on it. Safety and protection. I want to get to these driver's licenses. All right, so September 17, 2015. They said Travel and Leisure dropped a bomb, a silent bomb that almost no one realized was dropped. Right. Starting in 2016, travelers from 5 U.S. states, we know it's 9 now, would not be able to use their driver's licenses as ID on board domestic flights. A pretty major development, considering an estimated 38% of Americans don't have passports, man. So they're just trying to make you kind of quarantine. It's like a step towards quarantine you, making it harder for you to go anywhere, right? So they can put you in whatever camps they want to put you in. Walmarts, Targets, look out. Sounds pretty innocuous until you start delving into the issue. But before we walk you through what is found, note the second to last paragraph in the TNL article, which states that the TSA will also accept enhanced driver's licenses, BioPower, the kind that are currently used to replace passports for travel to and from Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean. On the non-compliant states, only New York and Minnesota issue enhanced licenses. According to Wikipedia description of Real ID Act 2005, to which has been slowly rolled out, but said rollouts is picking up speed now under the requirement sections, we see the following. Said cards must also feature specific security features intended to prevent tampering, counterfeiting, or duplication of the document for fraudulent purposes. These cards must also present data in a common machine-readable format, barcode, smart card technology, smart card, BioPower, smart card, BioPower, smart card. Although the use of wireless RFID chips were offered for consideration in the proposed rulemaking process, it was not included in the latest rulemaking process. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, could consider additional technological requirements to be incorporated into the licenses, smart card, BioPower, after consulting with these states. So that's what they're waiting for. Are you going to comply? Will you let us put our BioPower in your state license? In addition, DHS has required the use of RFID chips in the enhanced driver license program. So when you get these enhanced licenses, they are chipped, period. Which the department is proposed as an alternative to Real ID, because they both have BioPower. Real power. They have real BioPower. They have power that they're only focused on the strategy and relation. They're only focused on dealing with the production of the real. It aims to produce the totality of social life. It aims to produce the totality of social life. So you can't travel socially without their production of the real, without their production of the real ID. So passports, however, use different technology known as RFID or radio frequent identification is already in your passport. The same type uses the tag clothing, use to tag clothing, pets, even artificial replacements for hips and knees. When embedded in a U.S. passport, the chip can be scanned only by someone at close range with an RFID reader, usually within a couple of feet. That's what they're doing, is scanning your RFID already. Would you not think of it like an RFID? Oh, I just got a passport. See, look all the places I've been to. Look all the places. Let's keep going, man. I don't even talk about the credit cards. They got the chips in the credit cards. This is from the NewAmerican.com. Globalists in U.S. push mandatory biometric ID. BioPower, BioPower, BioPolitics, BioPower. No. We're not aimed at prohibiting and punishing. We don't want to punish you. We just want to produce the real. In an effort to bring every last person into the system, so to speak, governments and globalist forces and United Nations want to make sure that every human being on the planet has a government-issued identification card complete with BioPower, biometric data. Indeed, the recently approved UN Sustainable Development Goals, also known as Agenda 2030, look it up, explicitly calls for providing a legal identity and birth registration for all. A parallel effort led by the same forces pushes global IDs, national ID, global ID. Meanwhile, hopes to abolish cash and move towards a cashless global society. Screw printing paper, just use your wrist. And then when you can't pay, we'll turn off your wrist and turn you off until you can pay. We'll put a frequency in you until you got to pay, in which every transaction can be tracked, or you can be tracked. And with funding, I mean, what would this BioPower do to your brain and connect to your brain? What would they do when they implant this frequency inside of you? You already are carrying it around in your wallet, close to you, in your phone. What is it doing to you now? And with funding from U.S. taxpayers and various tax-exempt foundations controlled by the establishment, both of these visions would become a reality in the not-so-distant future, at least if humanity does not push back, which, we're so used to being pacified, man. Then it gets into how, redistribution to targeting children, agents of change, the UN. Goal 16 of Agenda 2030, which includes about a dozen individual targets, also offers some other important hints as to the real agenda. They only are interested in the production of the real agenda behind the UN latest 15-year plan for mankind, not man, mankind. The globe itself is listed as promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all. You think they're interested in the indigenous justice, in the original justice, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels? All right. I mean, come on, man. So I'm gonna leave this too, man. You can get into it. Let's get some of this right here. Of course, the U.S. government has also been a key player supporting the efforts both in the homeland and worldwide via USAID and other bureaucracies. In March, the New Ame'rican reported the GOP lawmakers in Congress were pushing an Obama-backed scheme that would force every American to have a national ID card containing sensitive biometric data, in case you thought that was your man. The plan would have made working illegal for anyone who refused to submit. You can't even get your job. You can't even get paid if you don't have a global biometric BioPower. In other words, in their interpretation, in their abstraction, no BioPower, no power, no energy. We cut you off. So if that BioPower is in your wrist or in your hand, if that's what you're using to pay for things in the grocery store, now let's say you don't have any more monies, or if you have some type of debt, just like they can go into your account, what can they do to you? I mean, they just turn off your chip. How does that affect your actual chemistry, your actual frequency with their BioPower? In their version, no BioPower, no power. You're powerless without BioPower. And why do you need BioPower if you already have all power with the All Creator? The All Creator seed doesn't need their biometrics and BioPower and synthetic Merkabahs. We don't need to be chipped and frequencied on. You have to agree to it. Do you think the Creator would sit there idly watching his children get forcibly chipped, frequencied on at a time of their awakening, not in the time of their curse, not in the time of their falling to sleep, in the time after December 21st, 2012, when even the Maya told you that our ancestors will return? and that things will start to change. The frequency will shift. Nah, it won't just be a big cataclysm in 2012. It will be the beginning of a wave of remembrance. It is time. It is time. It is time. Yeah. Sometimes we just vibrate, man. Sometimes we just vibrate, man. We going fast, but it's already happening. Chipping children, credit cards, living in a surveillance nation. I'm going to leave all these links, man, so y'all can check out. Love to the sister princess, Amberella. So you got the states, you know what they're planning on doing, what they're doing right in your face. We just want to bring some attention, bring you to some of this water. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we try to bring you some of this Negro bill, man. Love to my family, Art Crawford again, man. Oh, man. All right, we're going to go into this, make a dismount real soon. Hopefully have some time for the inmate truth if we can. Thank y'all for vibing. And yeah, this is, one of the attempts, man, of these people, that's trying to be like self-righteous. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see what she says, but she still does it in a corny way of really, like a game, like she, it's still a game to these people. It's still not a sincere thing. You know what I'm saying? It's still not even a self-righteous sincerity. It's still like, let's be funny about it. But you're going to see, man. You're going to see. Love to my man, Art Crawford. They just looking around at Negro Bill Canyon. Negro Bill Canyon. Negro Bill Canyon. In Moab, Utah. Moab Negro. Moab Negro. All right, let's go. Let's see what she said. Love to y'all. Love to Art Crawford for this. And, thank y'all, everyone for supporting, man, and showing me your love and your patience as we rebuild, and everyone who's dropping it. Love to everyone who's dropped all their songs and been dropping songs. I'm about to start tuning songs tonight, doing some, tune up. So you'll be getting your songs back right away. I'm excited. I'm excited to give you a frequency and to just get this going on a much higher, doper, pure level and capacity. Thank y'all for riding and surfing wherever you are. I'm just in Inglewood, chilling with my goonies. Loving up all my people, my family. I love my family. I love my family. Man, I am committed. You know what I'm saying? I'm specializing in my family, man. I'm specializing in my family. I'm committed to my family. And this is what we do. This is Negro Bill. Look how this hijack starts this shit off, man. Love to y'all.
Jenna Halfacre, and today we are outside of Moab, Utah.
Moab.
We're going to hike a trail, which, as a white person, I don't feel comfortable saying the name. So I'm going to have my half-Mexican friend, Francisco Martinez, step in for me. Today, we are hiking Negro Bill Canyon. We're going to hike a trail, which, as a white person, I don't feel comfortable saying the name. So I'm going to have my half-Mexican friend, Francisco Martinez, step in for me. Today, we are hiking Negro Bill Canyon, Utah. We're going to hike a trail, which, as a white person, I don't feel comfortable saying the name. So I'm going to have my half-Mexican friend, Francisco Martinez, step in for me. Today, we are hiking Negro Bill Canyon.
Any questions? Do I even have to, So she feels uncomfortable, so uncomfortable that they make a game out of, only my half-Mexican friend can say the word Negro. Negro. I can't even say Negro. I'm so white and so conscious that Negro might be offending someone if I called him a Negro and not an African American. I can't even say the word Negro, but this half Mexican can, of Spaniard descent. But this Spaniard can do it. But me, I can't do it. But the Spaniard created here can do it.
Hike a trail, which, as a white person, I don't feel comfortable saying the name. So I'm going to have my half-Mexican friend, Francisco Martinez, step in for me. Today, we are hiking Bill Canyon.
Let go, let go.
Looks like they found some kind of cave up there. Go check that.
Oh, they found some drop. I'm sure there's all kinds of drops in our mountains. In the Negro Mountains. Oh, the Negro.
Out.
See, they cut right out of that. Whatever they found, it's in their backpacks right now. I always be tripping on how, like, you know, I get it. It's good to be carefree, but they really don't care. I mean, they'll bring their babies, their kids, going someplace they got no idea about. They don't know what's there. They don't know what could be there. But hey, let's bring my baby. No problem. I mean, you're talking about a synthetic situation, man. That's all I'm saying. Let's go.
And they're headed up to check out something. Little side trip off the main trail. Now we are back on the trail.
Really? These are canyons, man. That's a cliff right here. Really, people? Y'all niggas crazy.
You're not even near the edge, bud. You're fine.
You're not even near the edge. Madness. Nah, this is beautiful, man. Aside from these hijacks, you see, Moab, man, Utah, man, Maine. We have a lot of moving water.
Did you want to jump?
These are like perfect, Brian. Look, Ryan, come here. I want to put you in the Ryan hole.
And you can see what we think is the bridge up there. We'll find out soon.
We have to cross it and come back, and then we'll have our snack, okay? So that wraps up our 2.5-mile hike to Bill Canyon, all the way to Morning Glory Bridge.
They do it again.
And then we'll have our snack, okay?
These corny mofos.
So that wraps up our 2.5-mile hike to Bill Canyon, all the way to Morning Glory Bridge.
And he just got up there too, like, I'm so half Mexican. No problem. I'll say it with a smile. She can't even utter the word out of her mouth, but look how happily I can do it because I'm of some relation to these Negros.
See what we think is the bridge up there. We'll find out soon.
No.
Cross it and come back, and then we'll have our snack, okay?
No.
So that wraps up our 2.5-mile hike to Bill Canyon, all the way to Morning Glory Bridge. Until next time, happy hiking.
Morning Glory. Morning Glory, huh? I love the Art Crawford, man. I don't know where you find this stuff, bro, but you do have the drop, my man. What else we got here? Oh, man, should I even? I'm just going all right. I'll just say it like this. This is some good stuff from my man Paco. And I'm going to do a separate thing. I ain't even mean to have it up yet. But remember, we was just talking to Cuzco. All right. And that relation as we got into forbidden histories, man, that's why I didn't want to bring it up. Cause it's a lot. But it's a beautiful flow. And yeah, we related to Moses' rod. I didn't quite relate Joshua, though. But we related to fiery, flying serpent devouring the venomous snakes and all that drop, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's just get this paragraph and you'll see where we're going. As Shu and Anhar. Now, this is a book called A Book of the Beginnings. I'll leave this link. I wish the library is up. Be patient with his people. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that site gets, replenished and whatever fixed on their side real soon. I'll be calling these people every day. They just, acting like, we're still trying to sort through So you already see how they doing this, man. So we're going to do our own thing. Love to the fan that got their own servers, because that makes sense. And yeah, man. So I'm going to leave this link. We're still going to drop the links. It's all good. Ashu and Anhar in Egyptian mythology, and Moses and Joshua conducted their people with the solar orb round the circle of signs. All right. So there's some orb, some ship, some orb. That has to do with their signs. All right. Most High gave us all these things as signs, not to be worshipped. Overcoming the opposing powers postulated by the early men. So in the Toltec mythology, Huamak, which we got some of that, I believe, in the Papuva, or Huamatsin, and Quetzalcoatl conducted their people through the pilgrimage and wanderings recorded in their picture writings. So you have this Huamak and Quetzalcoatl being, together like Moses and Joshua and Shu and Anhar in Egyptian mythology. Now, Huamak and Quetzalcoatl. Now, let's see what this particular author is saying. This author is Gerald Massey. All right. So Huamak or Humatsin and Quetzalcoatl conducted their people through the pilgrimage and wanderings recorded in their picture writings. Huamak, like Moses, wrote the code of laws for the nation and conducted the civil government. Quetzalcoatl, in relation to Huamak, plays the part of Joshua. So we have related, is this a Moses connection going on with this Quetzalcoatl, with this rod, with this fiery serpent, as some manuscripts have Moses's rod or staff turning into a fiery serpent, devouring the venomous snakes and different things. So whatever this, indigenous connection between this particular serpent versus that serpent or snake or whatever the case is, when Quetzalcoatl began to give the laws instead of Huamak, he sent a crier, whatever that is, to the top of the mountain of outcry, whose voice could be heard for 300 miles round. Joshua follows Moses as the leader of Israel and instructs the people to go up against Jericho, his mountain of outcry, and assail it with a shout that ought to have been heard at an equal distance, as it was loud enough to make the walls fall flat. So this drop is connecting Joshua with Quetzalcoatl and Moses with Huamak. And I got much more that I want to get into. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get this part. The Old Red Land, Huatapalan, was the name of the original home in the north from which the Toltecs migrated. All right, Palan, their leader Quetzalcoatl, who they've just connected to Joshua, wore a long robe marked with crosses. All right, remember we got the indigenous drop on the, north, south, east, west orientation, true north, true south, true east, true west. We also got it as a mark, as a sign. Their leader, Quetzalcoatl, wore a long robe marked with crosses. The sign identifies him as the one who crosses. A mark, the one who crosses. What did he cross? This is just other, dimensions of perspective we're getting into. The indigenous truth. Him that crosses. The sign or crosses identifies him as the one who crosses. Quetzalcoatl attained the land of promise. And in his golden reign, an ear of wheat grew so large that one man could hardly carry it. Joshua led the people into the land flowing with milk and honey, where a single bunch of grapes was a load for 2 men. Moses is placed in a cleft of a rock in Mount Nebo, right? Whilst the Lord goes by, and tradition asserts the print of his body to have been engraved on the stone visible to this day. Ooh. Ooh. All right. All right, man. Yo, love to my man Paco, man. My man Paco got so much drop. Moses is placed on the cleft of the rock while the Lord, or the Creator, goes by, and tradition asserts the print of his body, Moses' body, or we're talking Huamak body, or, you know what I'm saying, Quetzalcoatl. But this could be Joshua. I mean, how are we playing this? Joshua led the people into the land flowing with milk and honey. Quetzalcoatl attained the land of promise, and in his golden reign an ear of wheat grew so large that one man could hardly carry it. Joshua led the people to the land flowing with milk and honey, where a single bunch of grapes was a load for 2 men. Moses is placed in the cleft of a rock while the Lord, the Most High, goes by, and tradition asserts the print of his body to have been engraved on the stone visible to this day. So if you're around Mount Nebo, that is a visible mark. The impression of the hand of Huamak is likewise said to have been stamped in a rock. Ooh-wee, the lion gods, they call them lion gods, not only supplied the Hebrews with their mythical Moses and Joshua, the twin, typical and transforming lions, the lion of light and the lion of darkness, reappear among the 12 symbolic signs called totemic of the North American Indians. Man, all right. That's all I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? You already see where this is going. So you see how this connects. Love to y'all, man. We just gonna get this dismount. You know what I mean? While we talking about, you know, our mountains and crying on a mountain, just remember that your mountain are trees. And definitely check out my sister M.A. Truth with these power of words, because that's gonna bring a lot more into the frequency. We're going to get this petrified forest, man, and then we're going to dismount it. I love y'all. For real, for real. We'll keep building. We'll keep featuring. We'll keep loving, you know what I'm saying, our energy, ourselves. We're learning to love ourselves by loving this energy. If you don't love your creator, you don't love yourself, because you don't love the energy that you are flowing in, the consciousness that you're swimming in, man. So remember your mountainous trees. If you don't care about that, you don't care about your oxygen, you don't care about your intelligence, you think you're intelligent now, imagine if you weren't oxygen deprived. Imagine if you had your trees. Your crystal trees, that is. Up to Vlad 9VT. All right, let's go. Now, this is just a huge tree. What they're calling petrified is just crystallized. So, you know, these are evidence that these trees existed in the silicon era, not just the carbon-based tree era, but back when these trees were silicon-based, which is crystal-based, which is when you go in the roots of these trees or mountains and caves and all that, you're finding all of these crystals all there because these are the roots of these trees, these crystallized trees with frequencies. Remember the plant singing. Imagine when your trees were singing, communicating, storing energy like crystals, silicon. You know, Silicon Valley, if you're in California, crystallized laptops, crystallized computer chips. Now they're even using crystal, whatever the intention they want to use the crystals for. But remember that your crystals are the trees, all the roots are you. You are a crystal. You are crystallized. You're crystallizing yourself right now, just with intention. Keep those great intentions. Don't let all this bullshit drag you down. Your key to winning this whole overall, you know what I'm saying, competition, this whole victory that's going on right now is your frequency. Not just what you know, but how you apply it as to your actions, your actual thought, your actual frequency. With mountains, with trees. All right, man. They're going to break it down. I hate this music, so I'm gonna do my own music while we play this, man. So I ain't got to deal with this hijack music. But let's just focus on the images as we make our dismount. I love y'all. Stay up, suit up, choose up. All these are crystallized. All these are just branches, man. All these are just branches. Broken down branches of these large crystal trees, man. Wow. Look at that. Crystallized trees, people. Look at all these crystals and minerals inside of the tree. This is just a branch of a tree. This is not a tree trunk. This is just one of the branches of these giant trees, man. All crystal. What did they do to your trees? And how did they get how did they get all that drop? crystals. Imagine a frequency when mountains were trees. Imagine a frequency flowing through these crystals that's stored in these crystals in the root, flowing throughout the ecosystem. What happened to your ecosystem? Now it's been replaced by BioPower. But this is who you are. This is who you are. Now you're fighting for a status. Well, what's the status of your crystal? You are the same as it. Your source is its source. It is a frequency. A vibration that exists if you're on it. And together, if we're all on it, what can prevent, what can inhibit, what can regress, what can repress, what can stop us? If we are a nation of this, and if this is our birthright, let it be forever. Let it be forever. And let it be Hawa.